This is a tutorial on how to do distinct numbers from the CSES problem set. So here's the problem. You're given a list of n integers, and your task is to calculate the number of distinct values in the list. So basically, you're given n, and they give you n integers, and then so you just want to calculate how many distinct integers there are in the list, as it just said. So here there are obviously two, because 2 3 2 2 3, there's only 2 and 3, so therefore the answer should be 2, and then it is 2. Okay, so how we want to approach this problem is that we want to store a list of values that we've already seen, and if we see a new value, we want to add 1 to the answer. So for example, let's say we have a for loop going through the list. So first value is 2. We'll do it here. So 2 3 2 2 3, 2 3 2 2 3. Okay, so first let's have a list called scene, and then we'll keep the values that we have seen on this list. And then okay, so first value 2, have you ever seen it before? No. So we add it to the list and add 1 to the answer. So answer is 1. 3, have we ever seen this? Does 3 exist in scene? No. So we add 1 to the answer, and now we add 3 to scene. Okay, so now next value 2, have we seen this? Do we have this value in scene? Well, yes. So we don't add anything to the answer, and we just continue. Once again, 2, it's already in the list. Answer doesn't go up. And 3, it's already in the list, so the answer doesn't go up. And that's just 2, right? So we added 1 when we first saw 2, and we added 3 when we first saw 3. Another approach to this type of problem would be to have like a list, right, that I guess counts how many values there are for numbers. So let's say index 0 in this list will account for how many times the value 0 occurred on, I guess, this list. So we could also have an approach like that, like a hash map approach, but this doesn't work because the number xi can be as great as 10 to the power of 9, and we won't have enough memory to store 10 to the power of 9 values in a single list. So that wouldn't work. So we just want to use the previous approach where we put the value into a list or a hash map of some kind, like a set or map, and then do it. So I'll code it out in C++. This is my template. You don't have to worry about it for now, but okay, so we want to take in 5. So we will store it as int n, and then array. So of 2 times. Okay, so right. So what this code did is it took in the input. So now these values are stored in the array. And now I'm going to use a data set called map to store how many times a value has been, I guess, seen. Or this scene list, I'm going to use a map to, I guess, make it come alive. I don't know. All right, so map int, and then I'll make it scene. So what this will store is, so the first value will be the value. So so this value, right? 2. And then second value is how many times we've seen it. So yeah. So we'll just store it like that. We can also use set to store it, but I don't know. I'll just use map for now. And then value and then count. I'll have a for loop that traverses the array. Int a is ri. So I use this variable just to like clean my code a little so that I don't have to use ri all the time. So in C++, we have this thing called scene.find. If scene.find a, scene.end. Nope. So what this does is it checks if so scene.find, it basically returns me an iterator to the place where a is in scene, and then scene.end. So this for loop checks if it's scene.end. If this function does return scene.end, that means a is not in the list. So and then we'll add answer. Answer plus equals 1 and ca equals 1. Let's continue. Okay, and then see out answer. That should work. And I'll just test my code right here. 2. Yep. So okay. Okay, so we just coded this. I had to cut it because I had to make a new account. But okay, so we'll submit this file. Okay, and then hope for it to work. And yep, it did work. Okay, so here's I guess like a guide or like explanation of the code. If you don't need it, if you don't need an explanation, you could just skip this part. But here, so basically this is where we store in the inputs. Right, so we got in n, so I guess we stored n and then the array, and then so the inputs has ended. All right, and then this is so this is where we declared the variable scene, much like in this, but we use a what's that called, data type, or whatever. We use a map to store this. So if you don't know about map, I suggest you go look it up. Geeks for Geeks has a good tutorial on maps. They have a good tutorial on everything code related, honestly. But yeah. So you could just look it up. Yeah, basically what a map does is it stores two values. This is called a key. The first value is called a key. And then the next is the I'm not quite sure what it's called, but we don't really have to worry about it here. The next value doesn't really mean anything. We could have actually used this data type called set. You can set it up like this. So what this basically also does the same thing. It just stores variable and then you might be wondering why we don't use vector or just a list. That is because so map and set, they store values in n log n. Whoops, n log n. Time complexity. So they store the values in n log n time complexity, and you can find values in log n complexity, opposed to just O of n when using a list. So it makes it faster. So by using a set or a map, we can change this what's up? Let me go to the task. So we can I guess lessen the time complexity of the whole whole program by making it logarithmic. So the overall time complexity would be log n log n for this problem by using the approach I did. But if we were to just use a vector, or I guess yeah, vector for scene list scene, we would have had to done it in n squared time, which obviously doesn't work here because it would be 2 to the I don't want to do the math. Okay, so yeah, so that's why we use a map or a set. If we were to use a set, everything would be the same, but over here, scene a equals 1, we wouldn't do that. We would just do scene dot insert a if we were to use a set, but since we used a map, we just keep it as this. And then this continue, not many people know about this. I mean, many do, but beginners may not know about this. So continue, what it does is it basically just skips the rest of the code in the for loop and just goes to the next for loop. Or like you can use this in while loop. And yeah, so basically it's kind of like break, but you don't stop the whole thing, you just stop that one iteration. So like if we were in 0th when I equals 0, you would make it so that the continue would make it so that it's I is 1. So it just, I guess, skips the rest of the code and continues the iteration. That's why it's called continue. And obviously the answer variable is there to store the answer. And that's basically the code. Oh, I forgot to I forgot to explain the most important part. All right, so here I explained it earlier, but this code, what it basically does is if I've already seen value a in the scene map, then it's gonna go to else. If I haven't, which is this condition, if I haven't seen a, then we add 1 to the answer, and then we just, I guess, append a into the map. So yeah, that's basically the code. I suggest if you don't understand the code, I suggest you just go to like a tutorial of map, or like just learn C++. And then I can also code it in Python. I'll put that in the description if I wanted to. But yeah, so that's basically how you do it, how you do this problem. It's pretty simple, at least for me and many others probably. But if you didn't know how to do it, it's fine. Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. You'll learn later. But yeah, that's how you do it.